Most Web3 games are really struggling to find their footing right now. But one in particular I believe has the potential to redefine the gaming industry, and that is Illuvium. In our previous episode on the state of gaming, I used my map of the gaming universe to explain how different gaming studios have used monetization strategies and asset ownership over the last 5 decades to change how gamers interacted with their titles. With many Web3 games launching over the next 2 years, there will be many opportunities for this to continue to evolve. One leading contender to make major changes in the industry is Illuvium, and so today I'm going to share with you what Annie knows about how Illuvium is redefining the gaming industry. The game studio launching in 2022 in the Web3 space with the highest expectations is Illuvium. With over 230 developers working for over a year and a half now on developing their titles, Illuvium will be launching 3 different AAA titles in the latter part of 2022. Now, I'm not here to discuss the specifics of these titles, although I'll share with you beta footage from the gameplay itself. There are many other great content creators on YouTube and elsewhere that you can go to see gameplay content. No, instead, what I'm here to discuss is how Illuvium is using very unique monetization models in order to approach their gaming community. Using our map of the gaming universe, let's look at our far right column where we show asset ownership for various crypto games, where you as the player retain the right to all of the items and characters and equipment that you gain in the game itself. The big difference though with Illuvium compared to other crypto games is that Illuvium is using all of the different monetization approaches that we've seen on our map to approach different gamers and investors based on their willingness to spend and their propensity to play different types of games. Now, before we go further, I should mention that I am personally invested in Illuvium, but this is not a paid content creation in any way. Although, if the Illuvium team wanted to throw me a plot of Tier 1 land, I wouldn't complain. Just kidding, although I do love a great base builder, as my 5-year run in Clash of Clans can attest. If you ever receive feedback from someone on a particular game that you should purchase or invest in, and they don't disclose to you how they're invested in the project itself, my advice is to run the other way. You're probably looking to get scammed and be someone else's exit liquidity. That said, let's move on to the details of how Illuvium is redefining the monetization approach in the gaming ecosystem. Illuvium is actually offering 4 of the 5 key options of monetization approach that gaming studios have used in the past, in addition to providing a free-to-play option for each of their major gaming titles. Now, by offering this on-ramp to new players who may not be sure if they want to purchase, this allows them to try out all of the different genres of games that they're offering in their ecosystem. That in and of itself is not new, but what is new is looking at these 4 categories in terms of how Illuvium is branding their products. Firstly, by providing a pay-to-skin Illuvatars, pay-to-play Illuvium Zero lands, pay-per-play travel loops to catch Illuvials, and pay-to-win purchasing of Illuvials in the Leviathan Arena, they provide appealing approaches across not just 3 genres of games, including the Auto Battler, the Open World Collector, and the Base Builder genre, but also across gamers who have different comfort levels of engaging in different transaction types. On top of that, because of the interoperability of assets across all of these various game titles, what Illuvium is doing is creating a potential paradigm shift within the gaming industry. Let's break this down a little further. We'll start by looking at the free-to-play options that gamers have as they engage in the Illuvium overworld. So currently, players can travel across 7 regions at launch as they mine, harvest resources, and most importantly, catch Illuvials within the game itself. The second core gameplay title is Illuvium Arena. This is very similar to an auto battler like Teamfight Tactics, in which you can use your team of Illuvials to battle against either another player or against the computer AI itself. By owning free-to-play assets, the Tier 0 Illuvials, you have the ability to engage in all of the core gameplay mechanics in the arena. Additionally, gamers that want to be able to participate in a base builder or city builder mechanic can join the Illuvium Zero gameplay. In this case, you can own a Tier 0 land for free, engage in all of the mechanics, including developing your base itself, selling resources for fuel, and also identifying and crafting blueprints. The one key difference is, through the free-to-play experience, you don't have broader connectivity back to the blockchain itself, so you can't then sell those assets on the real open-world markets. In addition, while you're playing any of these games, you have the option of generating a free-to-play Illuvatar, essentially your profile picture or avatar while you're in-game. So for all of these gaming titles, the overworld, the arena, land itself, you have an option to play for free. Going back to our map of the gaming universe, we're going to start by exploring a pay-per-play mechanic in the Illuvium overworld. In this case, you can travel to Tier 0 regions for free and capture the basic Illuvials. If you want to expand your reach, though, you can pay to travel to Tier 1, 2, 3, and so forth regions within the game. These regions themselves are still the same areas that the Tier 0 gameplay allows you to access, but you'll be encountering much higher difficulties and strength of Illuvials in the open world. And so for fans of collectors or gathering games, such as Magic the Gathering or Pokemon, this is an equivalent where you're paying for a single gameplay loop. In this case, it's equivalent to opening a pack of cards where you may be able to gather a number of Illuvials, and one or two in particular are the ones that you were searching after. So this gives you the option of paying in very small transaction increments to be able to travel, engage with the game mechanics, and then also acquire Illuvials that you'll own. As you travel around the overworld and you capture more Illuvials, you can then use those Illuvials to fight stronger and stronger creatures in the open world, or you can use those same assets to fight in the auto-battler in the Illuvium arena. For those with larger wallets that have more of an interest in base builder games or in investing into the ecosystem itself further, there's a pay-to-play mechanic in Illuvium 0 that allows you to purchase a particular plot of Tier 1 through Tier 5 lands. Those plots can then be developed with buildings that generate fuel and harvest resources like silicon and carbon. The buildings that you upgrade can then be used to scan for Illuvials, which allow you to identify and research armor and other blueprints that can be used to craft various game items or cosmetics to be used in the auto-battler style of game. In addition, all of the resources that you have available on your plot of land can be used to turn into fuel, which is then sold to players to earn the right to travel within the overworld itself in that pay-per-play mechanic that I mentioned earlier. If you're interested in a one-time purchase that allows you repetition over the coming years and decades that Illuvium will be in existence, the Illuvium 0 pay-to-play feature is an option. Those interested in a pay-to-win mechanic can engage in the Illuvium Leviathan Arena. This allows you to pay and purchase the very best Illuvials with perfect stats and the best compositions that will allow you the chance to win against other whales or large spenders within the gaming ecosystem. In fact, you have the option of wagering against other players in the auto-battler itself in a one-on-one matchup. For those who are comfortable with spending big time that want to acquire a top-of-the-line deck with highest quality, the Leviathan Arena is the right location. This pay-to-win mechanic allows those with a larger wallet or much more time to be invested in capturing Illuvials within the world itself to be able to compete at that highest tier. For those with smaller budgets or who are more interested in virtual flexing, the pay-to-skin offering in the Illuvium ecosystem is the Illuvitar. In the Illuvium universe, the only avatar that you'll be able to use as your profile picture is an in-game Illuvitar itself. There will still be some standard Illuvitar options in the free-to-play space, but for a price, you have the ability to generate random or more controlled Illuvitars as part of a broader collection. This gives you the option of adding accessories to the Illuvitar itself, purchasing and selling them with other players as well. Once the Illuvitar mint ends, that particular generation of Illuvials will be removed and no longer able to be used for future Illuvitars. If you're able to mint, buy, or potentially win a very challenging competition, the skins and the graphics themselves are able to be carried forward for years in the future. And many players that are approaching Illuvium from areas like first-person shooter games or others where cosmetics are a key flex, this is going to be a highly appealing approach to monetization. Now, as we've established, all of these in-game assets, Illuvials and Illuvitars, blueprints, land plots, armor, and so forth, are yours, and you retain the right to own these assets. Now, because this gaming ecosystem in Illuvium is fully interconnected, you have the ability to change, swap, and sell each of these assets in unique ways. Let's say, for instance, that you capture an Atlas in the overworld. Atlas is a very standard Illuvial who's sort of the Pikachu, the primary mascot, if you will, of the initial Genesis version of Illuvials. Maybe Atlas is not a key part of the standard meta teams within the auto-battler itself, but let's say that in a future launch of a MOBA game, he becomes a key part of the very best team that you're able to put together to field in that MOBA. Because you're able to exchange these assets across platform, this opens up incredible potential within the Illuvium ecosystem. The metaverse concept that we're all interested in requires full interoperability of assets across each of these universes. To draw a parallel, in the Marvel ecosystem, if Thor, Iron Man, and Doctor Strange never meet, there isn't a metaverse to speak of, and the entire brand and IP becomes severely minimized compared to where they're able to go today. From the beginning, Illuvium is scaling their studio in a way that brings together gamers with interest in different genres of games, as well as different appetites of spending and monetization models in a way that's highly interconnected with economies that are able to scale for the future. You as a player have the option of participating in any of these monetization approaches or remaining as a free-to-play player. By the time you're watching this video, several or even all of the gaming titles that I described today may already be on the market for you to be playing with. We'll all be waiting eagerly to see if Illuvium is able to capture this potential game-changing paradigm within the industry. And if they're able to deliver on even a fraction of the potential here, I expect that both traditional gaming studios and others that are developing within the blockchain will sit up and take notice. Redefining the gaming industry indeed. If you want to come check Illuvium out or just ask questions, feel free to join me in either the Illuvium Discord, I'm a member of Shiny Shard's Guild as we look forward to the journey into Illuvium together, or in the ETH Lizards Discord server. All of these communities have incredibly strong networks and many gamers who are willing to help you if you're new to the space. All of us are very excited about the potential that Web3 gaming has for the future. And now you know what Annie knows about how Illuvium is redefining the gaming industry.